Hey everyone, you are on TarbutCast. I'm Ishay Berger. With me is Sarah Zarat. Hi Sarah.
As nice.
Hey, and with us, Ishay Berger. Hi Ishay.
Hey, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. What about you?
Very good. I was like, I'm gonna hang out with people, so I better brush my teeth. Get
Very,
polite.
very specific information you can
Great,
put here.
considerate.
Great.
Considerate of you.
And consider
Great.
it that it's in Zoom. It's very thoughtful of you to brush your teeth when
I know. That's what I thought. I thought like, this is so funny. Like I'm brushing my teeth. I'm gonna hang out with people. So yeah, it's crazy,
Great.
crazy boomer shit.
So if you're not meeting with people, you're not brushing your teeth. I'm just assuming.
Well, I would take my time. I would give it like an hour or two. Yeah,
Okay,
maybe too much
then.
information. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we just dive into the conversation. But how would you describe yourself? What's the title that I can give you, or you can give yourself?
I'm well, for that matter, I guess I'm a musician, but
Why
not
do you
in
do,
that
like,
very.
quote unquote. Why do you do like a quotation marks? You're a musician.
I'm not like extremely trained. I was never. Ever since I was, I think, between age 14 to 16, I would take like the odd lesson, guitar lesson, bass lesson.
Mhm.
But those guys would always try to push like jazz on me, or like some kind of like knowledge. I'm not like too much information again. Yeah. So I'm not like the trained musician. I'm not a session player. I'm not a recording, like, Shlomo Artzi wouldn't call me over to lay down tracks like hot
Okay,
like Avi Golda. But yeah, I'm a musician and I'm a songwriter, and I guess what you refer to as a punker. Like I'm a punk rock guy.
And if I can add my my note on that, I think that you're a great musician. You're still the leading singer in Useless Idea, right? The punk rock music.
I'm the guitar player. I don't sing. I do the backup vocals.
Okay. And with the Israeli band, like you have a couple of bands, right? So if you can name them, it will be much easier for us.
Sure.
So Useless Idea is like the first band, right?
Yeah, I play with Useless ID. Useless ID is a band that was formed in 1994.
Wow.
And I know, man. And by 1995,
no, I'm thinking like Yitzhak Rabin was still alive back then.
Well, yeah. I remember that day. I was a punker when that happened. I remember clearly. And yeah, so I played guitar with Useless ID since 95. Like they needed a guitar player. One guy flew over to India. That's like the Israeli phenomena of like doing
soul searching.
Clear your head and get a grip on shit, or maybe lose your grip more. So they needed a guitar player around 95, and then I would be the guy. And in I think around 2005, backstage at a Useless ID show in Milton Keynes or something like that in the UK, in the backstage we started just kind of like not jamming, but just making up funny songs, and that turned into a whole new thing in my life. We formed a band called Bola Bar.
Yeah.
And we kept
it's
stupid, like kind of like very unapologetically stupid punk rock band in Hebrew. And we've done that for
but just for our English speakers, Bola Bar is come to the bar, right? That's literally what it means.
Like come to the bar, come over here, come to the bar. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like in the arcade they would say like come to the arcade, and as if someone in the bar would say like come to the bar. Yeah, and we struggled with our limited output, which was like just thinking about drinking alcohol and being like silly. We've done that between 2005 and 2013. Around 2013, I quit the drink, I quit the party life. Like I was getting completely sober, and I felt like this is rather stupid to keep that band going. So we broke up, and so between 2013 and
basically you get out of the
bar. I got out of the bar. Yeah, and
between 2000.
Well, that happened, of course, a few times all over the world too. Yeah. I got some stories. And
That's the time to tell
yeah,
them.
I got. Well, no, I would just like dance on the bar. So they would say like, you can dance anywhere except the bar, and I would say like, I wouldn't dance anywhere unless it's the bar. You know, just like the.
Great.
Yeah. And by dancing, I mean just doing the robot, or, you know, not like real cool dance.
Okay, so let's do you have any like source of inspiration when you start writing a song or forming a band in that sense? Do you have something that like motivates you?
Well, I think of all the things that because Hebrew is quite like I don't want to say rich language, because I don't know if it's like that much of an interesting language, but the Hebrew language is quite like people have used it for like a lot of songs, thousands of songs, but most of them don't use like cuss words, and they're not funny, and they're not like stupid. It's many times it's just your ordinary, you know, way of writing a song. And so my inspiration is like everything that wasn't already done, you know, like if it was already done, then it's not as inspiring to me as much.
So wait a second,
but
you're talking about you writing both. We should maybe mention it like at the beginning, but you write in English and in Hebrew, right?
Well, for me personally, I write only in Hebrew, and the band Useless ID, our singer, he writes all the lyrics in Hebrew, in English. I'm sorry.
In English, okay. So
yeah, but for me, my songwriting thing is exclusively Hebrew. Like I would just do Hebrew.
So how is it to be in like a English speaker band for years? How does it feel?
Oh, it's cool, you know, because our band in Useless ID, we do a lot of traveling or touring, if you will, in places where English is not the main language. So, for example, if we tour in Europe, like Italy, Spain, Germany, Holland, fucking Austria, anywhere in Europe, so we play, you know, with the opening bands or the bands we get to meet. They mostly sing in English, you know what I mean? Like everybody wants to be.
But it's not their native language. It's not their
of
native
course,
tongue.
yeah.
Okay.
But that's the thing, I think, with punk rock and like hardcore music, everybody wants to be understood everywhere, you know.
So English
like
is the easiest.
Yeah, like I have friends in like Poland, and I'm always thinking, wow, I would love to hear you sing a song in Polish, you know. But they want me and you and him and her to understand their thoughts in, you know, a language that everybody gets.
It's funny that we're doing this. None of us is like a native English speakers, right? In this conversation,
I know,
it's funny that we're doing this in English. So yeah. Sarah, for example, is like her native language is German. So yeah, it's very funny.
I got no problem singing in English, you know, all over the world. Also in the UK, Australia, and the American Canada, where English is the main language. But I do find it kind of like frustrating when I say we're hanging out in a backstage room in anywhere in Germany or whatever, and we're talking to a bunch of people, and then I find myself talking to one of my Israeli friends from the band. If I have to talk with them, like if I have to talk with Corey in English, I find that like terribly weird, because we talk Hebrew amongst ourselves, and when we have to communicate in English so someone like a third party understands, that
maybe I have a theory about that. Maybe it's like a tool to reach like a larger, like a musician, like an instrument, right? In a way.
Yeah.
Express yourself to a lighter, like you said, like to a larger audience. But it's a tool. It's not like you know, it's like you're playing the guitar. So it's like English is in a way like instrument.
Yeah, I mean for the type of music Useless ID is doing, I remember our first days, and we would be into bands like Bad Religion and No Use for a Name and Lagwagon and, you know, SNFU and like all the bands that are basically American or Canadian. And I think that was like a part of the big 90s thing with punk rock, like the skating movies, and you know, it was actually going on MTV a little bit and all that stuff. So I think there was like a big bang all over the world for people with the Californian kind of melodic skate punk, melodic hardcore punk. And yeah, I think everybody kind of, you know, whether they want to admit or not, everybody wanted to be like NoFX, you know what I mean? Everybody wanted to be funny and witty and cool and like obnoxious. And, you know, you can only get so far when you do that in your own native language. And with English, I guess you can go and play Warped Tour and do like the big festivals and, you know, catch the interest of bands you like. Like for Useless ID, we got really, we made friends with all the bands that we used to like as kids, you know, like we're bros.
So Bolabar in a way, it's like a correction again with like the quotation for your experience as like in like an English speaker band in a way.
Yeah, I mean, it was always comfortable getting on stage with Useless ID, even like in Haifa and Tel Aviv and Jerusalem or a festival in Israel. That's cool. We go up there, we think in Hebrew, we look like Israelis, but we sing in English.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Bolabar, it was like, hey, wait, you know, let's just talk to our people, you know, in the like very like eye level, like say.
But again, I want to talk about like Bolabar music because I think you really like deal with like very political subject in a very like Dugri
lightweight,
totally straightforward approach there, which is like, you know, that's like super punk in that sense. And I wonder, I mean, because you said it's like more like a goofy or like nonsense like music, but it's not in a way, right? It's like you have a description of like problems in Israel, and you know, like between the lines you can hear, and like in the lines itself you can really hear like a lot of like criticism about Israeli politics, society, whatever. So I mean, how do you mix between like the you want to make like a fun music or like nonsense music, and but also like saying like critical things, or you know, like
you know, a lot of times it's you know how they say in Hebrew, in every joke there's some truth or some shit like that. You know, in any satire moment there's some like very real like very real vibe. And even with like the more like drunken or being fucked up on drugs, there's it's not supposed to be entirely funny. There's some kind of like true sadness to it, and like the reasons to get completely blind with substances. This is regularly not a funny or fun subject, you know. It has to do with like heartbreak or just like an inner frustration. And so, you know, it's like we were trying to have a laugh and make people kind of like oh, that's crazy, they just said that. But also between the lines, I think there was a bunch of truths that were kind of like shining through. But yeah, also I don't want things to be completely one-dimensional, you know, like some days you're fun and some days you're just the worst, you know. And I want to kind of capture both, you know, not make it like
that was your goal, to like to like bring some messages through this band, or you just like when you flow with this, like you just write some lyrics and then you just, you know, things got out of you without like any intention to just, you know, to make people like, you know, think about like what happening? Or I mean, I wondered about this process of just creating like songs, you know, like.
Well, I think we had our fun in our first album. It's called the Bong Rock, and we had our fun just like pretty much like, oh, I'm a mess. Oh, we make a bong out of anything, you know, kind of like just being very rude and crude. And for the second album, I think it was like we already got 20 songs about the same thing. Let's see if we can like make something, you know, a bit different. And I think we got a little,
if I may, a lot of
substance. And we got a little excited about like let's kind of like make a wider thing, all the while kind of keep the silliness going and keep the irony and keep like, you know, I don't like cynicism as much, but you know, just like being sometimes, you know, in a song, it you know, if you've been cynical or sarcastic, it brings differently to different people. For some people, it may sound like you're completely like, you know, just like grumpy. For other people, it sounds like, oh man, that's completely how I see it. You know what I mean? Like people can relate or just kind of, but it's never very intentional as far as like, let's let's make like a political party, like our people against some other people, and we're like that and they're like that. It's more about like we're having a laugh, but before you forget it, we're not into violence, and we're completely against racism and sexism, and we're for
a
me,
bit
I'm
anarchist in a way, right? In a
oh
way,
yeah, completely
super
anarchist, because
critical to the system
I don't
and the
want
government and cops. You talk about like cops and
yeah, but and religion and a
religion.
bunch of those things, and religious but
But do you have like a political, like, I don't know, like political agenda that you want to express with your music, or it's just again like something that
not
you
not so much. I'll tell you my personal thing, and I'm not criticizing whoever is different. It's just like the way I see it. The problem is like I think mostly with many of those problems, the main problem is like ego, and how people just want other people to be more like them, and you know what I mean, just like having the people are so convinced they got it right, and the next person got it wrong. And I'm very much, I'm like, so that's the problem, huh? Like you want to force people to be more like you, and like you're not so hot. You're a dipshit, No one should be like you. And so I think it would be quite like childish to think like we got an agenda and we'll force it on anybody. But if we can say like, hey, don't take yourself so seriously.
Got it.
Your ideas are probably, control C, control V kind of political ideas and convictions. So it's just like don't bother. Just try to be your best self, and it's more about people than the big like the political and the religious and all that. We cannot give a good fight to those big things. It's kind of like a small corner shop trying to bring down the big mall. We know we cannot stand a chance against those things. So our message would be more like chill the fuck out.
Oh, we want to disrupt in a way, the big like agendas or the big politics ideas in a way.
Yeah. I mean, even with the coronavirus, when I see people, they get too excited about like I don't believe this corona shit, and I don't believe the vaccine, and the other person would be like, I totally believe the vaccine. And it's like you guys are both kind of like, get off your tree. Nobody cares. You got 400 friends on Facebook, and you keep telling them what you think about something. The world is so big, and you just lecture for 400 people all over and over every day. It's just like, are you insane? Like get smart, have fun, share a song, talk about something that can bring your 400 friends happiness. Don't be so convinced you got it, you got the whole picture, because I know everybody who's so full of themselves, when they at the end of the day they're quite confused, they're ready to change their minds. So I'm more like being mature about shit, like chill out and like hear us out. We're gonna talk shit about your police, your government, your city, your world, and we're gonna do it with a smile. And we're not gonna talk shit about you for being down with all these things. We're just gonna kind of like bug them a little bit, make you think, and we can be friends. I don't mean that in the
like a weird optimistic agenda for life in a way, like a really, that's what I get from you. You're optimistic because we're gonna do it with a smile, but you're also like super criticized about like the big ideas that out there.
Yeah, I mean,
saying that
I
it's
think,
all the same in the sense that it's like you shouldn't take it so seriously, right?
Yeah. I think like the left and the right, sometimes they're so similar, and I don't mean to say that as a cop out. Like I'm in the middle. I'm not in the middle. I'm the extreme left.
Okay.
But I'm not.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna. But I'm not gonna go like oh, the right. They're all stupid. They're all racists. They got it wrong. Because everybody has their education and they're kind of like the way they were brought up, and their situation, their circumstances. And
can you find yourself like write songs that like criticize the left wing, or criticize like the this side of the political agenda?
Oh yeah. Hushamet. Hushamet.
Okay. What is it about?
Hushamet is not like about
It's the name of the
like,
song, by the way. Yeah, it's the name of the song, but yeah.
What's that?
It's the name of a song. I'm just saying for the people who just mistakenly
it's
haven't heard
like
this song.
Hushamet translates to lame as fuck, you know.
Yes, but in a very weird
that,
Hebrew level, right? I didn't know this word in Hebrew. I had to say
lame as fuck.
Okay,
lame to the core. And I don't think we aim at like the big macho Hatzel, you know, like we don't aim at the right wing enemy. We kind of say like, hey, you're
everyone
like
is like that.
Little.
So
what's
you
that?
basically said it that everyone is like Husham in a way, to some extent.
Yeah, it's like everyone is a Husham, and like some, you know, like in my head, it's like a lot of time leftists, and you know, like. Like the small-time revolutionists. They're all like a lot of times it's like the cliche. They're like quite privileged, you know, came from like wealthy families.
That's what the song is about.
It's not what the song is about, but
connection.
But no, but it's not what the song is about. But
it seems to be very subtle.
It's not what the song is. It's not what that song is about. More like it's like. You know, when we say Husham about someone, it's probably not like the stereotypical, tough guy, you know, hating the neighbors kind of guy. It's more about like the softy, you know, like here's a flower, like, you know, fuck off, you know.
Got it. Okay, got it. Like the most, I would say, like the environmental hippie, whatever. Stuff like that.
Yeah, the pacifist, you know, all that things, you know.
Okay, I did. So, okay, that's a nice addition to this song because anyway. So,
but we don't say it's like it's about you or you.
Yeah,
you know, it's kind of like
that's what I didn't understand this connection. But Sarah, you have a question there, so go ahead.
What surprises people if they learn it about you, Ishay?
What's that? Sorry.
Again?
What surprises people if they learn it about you?
I didn't understand. I'm sorry.
What surprises people if they learn about you? They think that they will be shocked that they know about you, right?
Oh, usually people kind of get that when I tell them I was like in the Boy Scouts, and I was like not in the early age only, but also like in the 10th and 11th grade. So I was like in the Boy Scouts, and I was like, I don't know, the madrich. How do you say that?
Yeah, the
like
guide. He was the guide, the tutor or the guide.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would have like green hair, and I would be like in charge of, I don't know, like 250 kids. But yeah, total Boy Scouts. And I was like already very, very much into punk rock, but I also liked being in the Boy Scouts, and it was weird because people would come in late and not have their uniform, and I would be like, that's cool, I guess. Like, you know, I was like very punk rock about it. So but it kind of conflicted and faded away. Yeah.
What material? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I guess another thing is that I don't know. I think when people expect you to be very, very, very punk, they get surprised when they meet punks, you know, not just me, and they're like, oh, so you take 2 showers a day, and it's like, yeah, I
brush your teeth.
You brush your teeth every day, yeah. That's
and like
I was surprised by that, I have to say, that you brush your teeth,
and you know, it's like, yeah, of course, yeah. So you know, a lot of things like that, like in the local kind of vibe. So if you're like good, you know, with music, if you can like. If you know like your scales,
oh yes,
like,
go ahead,
yes.
It's like, oh, so you can play like good guitar. It's like, yeah.
Maybe you should play something for us. What do you say?
Nah.
No?
But people are surprised that you're good. Like, you know, they're like, you're supposed to be shit because you're punk.
Got it.
It's like, oh, because people always think like, oh, punk, so you can only do like. They think you can only do that, right? But no, I can actually. I know my difference between the minor and the major and the 7 and the 9, and you know, like I know my music, and people can go like, I thought you're punk. I thought punk are not supposed to know like music. And I think like that's a load of crap, you know, like I think all, if not most people who write music in punk rock, they're actually quite invested in music, you know, not genius level, but like some theory, some, you know, some background of music. So I think that can surprise people, but whatever.
Yeah. What materials did you not publish and why? I mean, what's the decision to publish something or not to publish something?
At this point, I've written like, I think well over 100 songs in Hebrew that are published.
That are published?
Because there's like,
wow.
Yeah, because there's like 55 songs on the 3 Bola Bar albums, and there are like about 10 to 12 demos that didn't make it to the albums, but we eventually released. And there are like about 40 Tabarnak songs already. That's the next
right,
band
Tabarnak,
I've done
another
after.
band. Yeah, we haven't talked about this.
I know, yeah. That's like Bola Bar part 2 or some shit. Like we finished
Yeah.
Bola Bar and we started again with a different name and just like kind of like a different theme. And so I think, well over 100 songs. And at this point, I get really like, the next song that would get in would have to be like quite like something we haven't said already with chords we haven't used already. You know what I mean? It gets harder to.
But you're still writing
like,
songs like you said. Okay, I wouldn't publish it, but I just want to get it out of the system. Maybe. Do you have this like?
No. I have to be honest. I write everything.
You publish everything you write. You publish.
No, but everything I write, I want to publish. You know, it's just that like I don't write for fun. Everything I write, it goes like, is this going on an album or not? Like. But
so how do you decide whether it's go to an album or it stays on the floor of the album?
I just know, you know, I just know. Like some songs I guess are kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like when you wear your shirt backwards and you just know, you know, something tells you, you haven't necessarily put your hands in yet. You just put this piece of shit on you and you know it's upside down. Like as soon as, you know, like soon enough, you know, you kind of, it's not right. But there's another, like, maybe it's a little boring, but my band is a 5-piece, Bola Bar and Tabarnak, always a 5-piece. And we have this little club inside a 5-piece, we call it the Brain. So it's like me and the drummer and a guitar player. And we just meet the 3 of us before an album for rehearsals without like the whole 5-piece. And we try out the songs. And you know, sometimes I think like a song is really good and we should use it, but once we play it with the Brain, it's just not working, you know. It's a weird chemistry thing. Like you can write something and think like this is a great song, it's going on the album, and then just in the rehearsal room, it gets really like, yeah, I know, man. Yeah,
so it's not like a personal decision, right? You do it like with like other people to decide whether the song is working or not working.
Well, sometimes I know.
You start with like.
Sometimes I know at home already. Like sometimes I would know early on, like that's not good, but or not good enough, or like we already had this kind of a song. It's a tricky thing, man, with like melodies. Like a melody, I think it's something like you could be in the shower or washing dishes or
again with the washing. Ishay, you're really into hygiene. You're really into hygiene. What's happening?
Man,
are you punk?
No. I'm really like that's my shit. I like doing laundry and I like doing the dishes and you know
preaching to the choir. I'm also like a big fan of laundry. Amazing stuff.
But songs do come up, like melodies come up when you do this kind of shit. Another weird thing that's going down with me is like I'll do the dishes and there would be like a record playing in the background, but I can't hear it well. I cannot like make out what I'm listening to. But out of this whole chaos, like water running and a record is playing, a new melody comes up, like between all the kind of like the chaos.
That's like the home meditation.
So that's
laundry and dishes are the home meditation. I'm telling you, really.
Yeah. I think so. Like I don't get a lot of ideas walking the streets, you know, like walking down the street. Like sometimes I do. There's a song called Chut Vepachit that I wrote like entirely on the street. Like I heard some guy playing a piano I was walking a dog. Some guy was playing a piano in his house, and I stopped. I was like, wow, that's some cool chords. And then I was just like, okay, yeah, let's keep going. And I kept going, and like with his chords and like whatever I was thinking, I just wrote a song. And the song was like about a guy.
You're confessing about like stealing music from someone.
Oh yeah, but I do it also in songs. There's a song we have in Tabarnak called Pas Audio.
Okay.
And that's all about like lifting melodies.
Lifting.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, that's a very subtle word.
Yeah.
You're phrasing it very subtle. Lifting music. Okay, so let's move. Oh
yeah.
Let's move on to the next question. What would you like to be remembered from your work for another 50 or 100 years? You think like 50 people like will hear like punk rock in like 50 years from now?
Yeah.
Like the same. Like,
yeah, possibly.
Really?
Possibly. I'm not sure. I can never tell. But
what would you like that you be remembered? Like your music will be remembered like 4 generation from now.
Well, I would like it to be remembered as what it is, and what it is like. Here's the thing. I'm 43. Like I was born in 78. And when I got into punk, I want to say like 14, 15, 16, there weren't a lot of 40 years olds around me. You know, I grew up in the city of Haifa, and there was actually one punk guy who was like very much older. He was like, I think when I would be like 16, he would be 30. Okay. You know? Mm-hmm. So that would be like the oldest guy around being into punk. But he's not a musician. He didn't make any albums, didn't sing or write music. And so I think it's quite interesting for me to be like quite a grown-up surrounded by grown-ups playing very like youthful, at least energy-wise, youthful music. And I'm not stopping anytime soon also. Like I'll probably be doing that at 50. You know what I mean?
Wow, that's so cool. So like next, like to take it to a much mature level in a way.
I know, yeah, and that's what I'm looking at. Like I don't have like plans. Like I don't say like at 48 I will write this kind of thing. You know, I don't have an agenda ready. But I would very much like to be remembered as a lifer. You know what I mean? Like lifer. Not. I'm a lifer in punk rock music. Lifer is someone who's for life, you know?
Oh, lifer. Okay, got it. That's for life. Yeah. Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Nice. I'm not a quitter. I'm not around for as long as it's trendy or like around the
punk for life.
Around the early 2000s punk rock in a way like the emo punk rock, the you know what I mean? There would be like it was a big thing, and a band like Useless ID, we got to play like big shows. We got to do like Warped Tour in America, and a lot of like, we would play sometimes to like thousands of people, literally. And that's like not very punk. Punk is like, a small show, basement show, small clubs, stinky bar, backyard. That's punk rock. Early 2000s, we would actually play more like serious rock clubs than we would play like shit dives or bars. But that time has passed, and it like went downhill, and like hip hop got big, and whatever EBM, electronic. Yeah. I mean, people just like different kind of. The kids like different music these days. There's no kids into punk rock. The kids are into Mac Miller and Billie Eilish, and and Static and Ben El.
Which is Billie Eilish is quite good, I have to say. But yeah, that's.
I haven't heard it yet. I'm waiting. Like sometime. Yeah, I mean, I'm open to music, but. As far as what I'd like to be remembered is like I don't want to be remembered as like a pioneer, genius, great, smart, funny. I don't want any of that as much as I want like the longevity of what I'm doing to be appreciated or at least remembered. Like, hey, this guy was putting out music from 94 to 2035. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and this guy made like there's a website called the Discogs, and that's where people sell records online. It's kind of like eBay, but only for music. So they sell records and CDs and tapes. And when you go into the artist, like the band's Discogs page, you can click on each member. Say like you go to Useless ID Discogs, you can click Yotam and see everything Yotam has done. And Yotam has done a lot of things. Like he's on a Danny Sanderson LP and he's on a NoFX LP. You know what I mean? He was guest appearances in many other people's music.
Mhm.
And for me, I got like 2 pages already. You know what I mean? Like
Wow.
I got my production work. I got like
Great.
if I do like a not on tour album producing, or if I do like some guest guitar, if I write a song for somebody, if you know. So I just want to have many pages on Discogs as a
Got it.
testimony for me doing a lot of recorded music. As I get older, I think shows are important and they're cool and they got their value, but there's nothing that can compete with recorded music. Like when I'll be dead and gone, my music will still be available online and physical.
Yeah.
And that's more important than, you know, going to a club, drinking a beer, sing a band, going home. Like it's important
It's
again,
gonna
but
remain. It's gonna remain after for years.
yes, the
Great.
physical music remains. And, you know, for me, it's quite like important to keep making it. And of course, with like a very high standard of mine, you know.
So anyway,
I want
with
every
this,
lyric to be right. And yeah.
So with this optimistic, morbid note, I want to thank you so much for participating in this. Yeah, so
That's
it was
cool.
my pleasure. Thanks a lot, Sarah, for participating here, and have a great music. Continue to create great music.
Thank you very much. I'm on it as we're talking. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.